The office of John Enterprises hummed with the soft murmurs of the efficient productivity. Jungkook was sitting on the couch while his secretary was sitting beside him. There was an important meeting going on with his old business partner. The only sound that was echoing in the whole office was the voice of his secretary, who was explaining them the future plans of their project, and they all seemed to be impressed by all the terms and conditions. She finished giving her presentation and everyone smiled at satisfaction. It happens so rarely that the businessmen like them get agreed to any deal without making any changes in them. But when it comes to John and Jungkook, then they know how well and professionally he handles everything, with a fair amount of profit to everyone. They never doubt the capability of any of his employee because everyone here is so professional and hardworking. It's not easy to become the part of his company, but if you do, then that means there's no gap left to doubt in your capability. Millions of people dream to work with him, but only a few get a chance to work. Maybe that's one of the things which shows him even more professionalism in his work. He's one of the most successful businessmen in his country who knows how to deal with everything confidently. As the boardroom doors closed behind the last executive, Jungkook allowed himself a moment of pride. His company, known for its high standards and big clients, had just sealed another important deal without any problem. He turned back to his notes, getting ready for the next task, because taking rest after the work is never in his list. He always finds some more to work on. You knocked on the door and walked inside with a piles of files in your hands. Your efficiency, energy, and the way you always handle every small work professionally is just unmatched. Maybe that's why you are not only secretary but one of the favorite employees of his. You bowed at Jungkook and put the documents on the table. Jungkook looked up at you and smiled slightly when you returned him a sweet smile back. Great job today, Vian. The clients were impressed. You smiled as your cheeks flushing slightly from the compliment. Getting compliment from him just add another level of happiness in your already perfect life. Thank you, Mr. John. I'm just glad everything went as planned. Jungkook nodded, his serious expression softening just a bit. Your preparation was thorough. It made all the difference. You nodded and sliced the documents towards him. These are the contracts for the new deal. They just need your signature. Jungkook took the papers, his fingers briefly touching yours. He felt a tiny spark but ignored it and focused on the task. He signed the documents carefully and then gave them back to you. Make sure these get filed with the legal department and prepare a summary for the shareholders. Of course, Mr. John. You said, gathering all the papers, and then looked at him. Bowing a little, you walked out smiling. It's been a while since someone complimented you like this. Your heart was on cloud nine. This day can never be more beautiful than this. Jungkook leaned back in his chair, staring at the door through which you had just exited. Minute had passed, but his mind was still stuck at the moment your hands had touched. It was just a small thing, but somehow it stays in his thoughts. He shook his head, pushing away the distraction. There was no room for personal feelings in his perfectly ordered world. He was already so distracted by the fact that how he finds himself smiling a lot when you are around, and before he gets sure of that feeling, this another incident added more curiosity to his heart. He doesn't know that if it's just your different personality from him or just he felt like this, getting attracted towards you more and more at every passing day. The clock had already struck 7 p.m., signaling the end of office hours. But instead of feeling the usual emptiness, the office became even more chaotic. Everyone decided to work extra hour because the upcoming deal was incredibly important. It was not just the hard work of one or two employees. Everyone participated equally, contributing the same amount of effort and dedication. You were standing in front of the coffee machine, humming a song and waiting for your cups to get full, one for you and the other for your boss, who is the most hardworking person in this office. Working with him made you realize that being a boss is one of the hardest working ever. You just not only have to look for your problems but also have to solve the mess the others creates. Always be that first one to come to the office and the last one to leave. and still get hate from employees, that really the hardest position to hold. You look at your cup getting filled with coffee, so you added another one for Jungkook. Even his cup is like him, dark and straight. You chuckled. Let's start with you can see something which a normal human can't. One of the employee from your office and also your good friend walked inside, directly asking you the question which leaves you in confusion. You looked at her and raised your brows. She chuckled. I thought you might see something that a normal human can't. That's why I smiled while looking at the wall. And a chuckle again left your mouth. It's not something abnormal, just your habit of being happy and enjoying even when you're alone or with someone. Come on, smile don't need an extra reason or money to pop down. But it needs a reason to blush. I think it's the magic of Mr. John's charm. She said, pinching your cheek softly. Are you really blushing? That's impossible. Come on, not so lucky to get such a golden chance. By the way, here to have a break. Of course, the work is a little too much, but I'm just thinking about those 3 days off. They gave me more energy to handle the workload. I just want this week to pass too. You chuckled. Well, that's the secret to you all being so active and energetic. Getting a single day off from the office can bring so much happiness, and this time it's 3 days. I can guess that some of you guys have already planned the whole vacation. She chuckled along with you. You turn off the coffee machine and put the cups in the tray ready to leave as you already wasted a lot of time. Here, Ria bowed at you before placing her cup under the machine and turned it on. I'm taking my leave. Have a good day. You too, she said while bowing at you once again. You smiled and walked upstairs on the top floor of the building where there is Jungkook's office. You walked into Jungkook's office and there he was still busy in his laptop. You walked to him and placed the tray on the table. You cleared your throat. Jungkook lifted his eyes to look at you and he sighed, seeing you smiling at him, knowingly or unknowingly, but that's what he wants after working all day in his office. The daily dose of your smile that takes away his tiredness just within a second. No one has such an instant solution of his tiredness as you had. Well, a coffee break, you said in a cheerful voice, and the tiredness which showed in the form of line on his forehead seems to have faded as you already get relaxed by your smile. Just what I needed. Thank you, Vian. He said and grabbed the cup, but at the same time, your hand also gripped around his cup. As you were about to offer him the coffee, you quickly took your hand back and looked away. It's the second time the same thing happened, but to your surprise, neither of you found it cringy the way it looks when you see the same thing in movies. You sat on the chair which was on the other side of his table and take a sip of your coffee. Your whole body get relaxed as caffeine run down to your body. You smiled and rested your head back. Jungkook chuckled, a little surprised too, as how you catch his attention. He could stare at you for hours and never get tired. There's nothing better than a cup of coffee during the break of your work. You look tired, he asked, raising his brows while you opened your eyes and sat straight on your chair. You looked at him and slightly shook your head. Of course, you're not that tired, but who doesn't love the break hours? Everyone does feel lazy at this time except him. Not tired, but more energetic, thinking about the 3 days holiday we are going to get after this week. There's a lot of pending work I have to do in those 3 days. I left so many things in the middle because of this project. I'll do every work. And not only me, but everyone was just praying for the same thing. And also thanking you. They just can't just say all that on your face. If that is so, then tell them to thank you, not me, because if it's not you, then we will never going to get this deal ever. I'm equally thankful to you. He said and take another long sip of his hot coffee. You smiled and nodded. If that is so, then how about you thank me with a dinner? Oh, you want me to buy you dinner? Of course, as a secretary and presenter of this idea, I deserve a special treatment. Jungkook chuckled and nodded. Finishing his last sip of his coffee, he smiled at you. Okay, then let's go out after finishing our work. And nothing can be better than this. After finishing your coffee, you both get back to your work, finishing it quickly so you both can spend some time in a fancy restaurant. Even a street side carts will do better. You both were equally excited for this dinner. Ryan, can you come here for a moment? I need your help with something. He said as his eyes never left the laptop. You hummed and leaving your work immediately he walked to his desk. He grabbed the file and turned the laptop towards you. What do you need, sir? Here, check this out. You lean over his desk to look at the document he's pointing to. As you do, Jungkook turns his head, and your face end up mere inches apart. His heart skips its beat, seeing you so close to him, and it's the first time in these years he ever observed you with this closeness. Your eyes were focused on the screen without even blinking. You bite your lower lip, which attracts his eyes towards your lips. He feels a different type of emotion running in his stomach, as if everything was attached to him all at once. You blinked and looked at Jungkook to explain him the thing which he shows you, but stop as you almost forgot to breathe when your eyes directly met his dark dragon eyes staring at you. You gulped and your fist tightened when you felt his lips on yours. Jungkook's eyes widened when he realized what he just did, while you were standing there in shock, unable to utter even a single word. That was unexpected. Jungkook himself doesn't realize how this happened. All he remembers is that he was staring at you, but your beauty attracted him, and he doesn't even realize when he leaned so much closer that your are touched. You gulped, tried to form some word out of your mouth, but nothing came out. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. He continued while his eyes goes down, but even before he apologized properly for his action, you grabbed the back of his neck and pulled him in a real deep kiss. This kiss was with more intention, gently and lingeringly. At first he was surprised, but soon he also kissed you back. He pulled you on his lap and deepened the kiss. Your hands wrapped around his neck while his hands tangled in your hair, fulfilling his most awaited wish of playing with your hair. Jungkook pulled back when he realized that you were getting difficulty to breathe. You rest your forehead on his and take a deep breath to get your normal breath back. Your cheeks were all red by this action, while you were just too shy to even match your eyes with his. This is so unexpected. I know I shouldn't have, but I can't seem to stop. He pulled you closer, your bodies pressed together as you kiss again, deeper and more passionately this time. Your arms wrapped around his neck, your fingers tangling in his hair, Jungkook's hand exploring your back, holding you as if afraid to let go. What are we doing? You asked while calming your rising heartbeat, which was now out of control. You never thought that your confession will go like this. You always had a feeling for him as you were just scared of getting rejected. But what happened today was something you never even imagined in your life. Something I've wanted to do for a long time. The intensity between you both grows and you lose yourself in the moment. The office around you faded away, leaving just the two of you wrapped up in each other's arms. This changes everything. Yes, it does, but maybe it's something we both need. Just never leave me after this, and I'll make sure to give you all the happiness of the world. You too. You are doing something to me, Vian. I never think of anyone as I do of you. You are just everywhere in my thoughts and in my dreams, just everywhere. I found myself being complete with you. Is it okay if I accept that I feel the same for you? I've never loved anyone as much as I love you. You said, bringing a smile on his face. He softly grabbed your chin and make you look at him. Is that true? Is that true, Vian? You nodded and his smile grew wider. Say that again. I love you and I always want to be with you. He smiled and pulled you in a kiss again. You are now like a drug to him. The more he kisses you, and the more he wants you. In just a few minutes, you became an addiction. He never wanted to quit.